Tap on the karate chop point right now, and you guys are going to repeat after me as I guide you in this tapping process. What this is tapping on different energy meridians so that you can reprocess the feeling of unworthiness. So just repeat after me. Even though I feel this unworthiness, I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I feel this unworthiness that I don't really feel, I deeply
Even
love
though
and accept myself.
I feel unworthy of writing this book,
I
deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I completely love and accept myself.
Even though I feel unworthy of writing a book, I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely
Continue
love and
to
accept
follow
myself.
where I'm tapping and repeat after me. I've got a lot of unworthiness.
I don't. Stop it.
Side of the eye. And it's blocking my book.
And it's blocking my book.
Under the eye. And it's really frustrating.
It's really frustrating. You're really frustrating.
Chin. I freeze up when I talk about my book.
I freeze up when I talk about my book. That's never happened. I'm lying.
Collarbone.
She's making me lie. I don't like lying.
I feel like I'm not worthy of this book.
I feel like I'm not worthy of this book.
Who am I to write a book?
You're making me tap my surgery
Top of
scars.
the head. Who am I to write a book?
Who am I to write a book? I'm Savvy Writes Books.
Under the nose. I don't know how to bust that block.
I don't know how to
under the chin.
Bust your nuts.
I don't know how to bust that block.
I'm gonna bust your nuts. A question for the fellow writers out there. Do you ever sit down and just wonder, why did I spend so much money getting a master's degree in English when I could have just spent even more money taking Gabby Bernstein's course on how to write a best-selling book? That's a rhetorical question. I actually didn't pay for my master's degree in English. I was a graduate assistant. That's the way to go, guys. And just like I didn't pay for my master's degree, I also didn't pay for a course from a business guru to teach me how to write better books. But I did take something free. And that was that I attended the free training that business guru and self-help author Gabby Bernstein put on called 4 Secrets to Your Best-Selling Book. Guys, I'm currently an author and small business owner. I have 11 books out right now, and my 12th one is coming out this September. I'll talk a little more about that when we go into the specifics of everything, but some people DM'd me on Instagram and were like, hey, did you hear that this business guru type is doing a little free writing training? You want to attend that? You want to react to that? You want to tell me if it's accurate or if she's just grifting again? And I was like, you know what? Let's check it out. So today, that is what we're going to do, guys. I went to the training. We are going to go through the entire webinar and then examine the course, all about 4 secrets to writing our bestseller. Let's see what Gabby has to teach me that the writing and publishing classes in my master's degree sequence left out. I'm sure Gabby is the one who has all the secrets that my actual professors were afraid to tell me.
Get you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should pick up lesbianism.
Chicago.
You guys asked for it.
What's up, my fellow small business supporters? I'm Savvy. Welcome back to Savvy Writes Books. This is the channel where we talk about books and business, and today's video is about both of those things because we're going to react to a business guru teaching us how to manifest better writing. For those of you guys who are new here, please don't forget to subscribe. I put out new videos every Friday morning at 11 a.m. Central and also often other times throughout the week as well, because lately I've just had a lot to talk about. This past week on my second channel, Your Morning Guru, linked in the description below, we followed Gabby Bernstein for a week there, took a look at her and her work and all of that, and since I really love you guys a lot, I also ordered a bunch of her books from my favorite local woman-owned bookstore, Semicolon Bookstore in Chicago, so that I can do reviews of them as well. That's what I tell you guys. Whenever I pay for bad books by business gurus, you know, I don't get them from the library because I want to like mark them up and then do a giveaway with them and all of that. But whenever I spend money on shitty business guru books, I always buy them from my local woman-owned bookstore. And that is how we support small businesses on this channel. Hooray! Now you might be over here like, Savvy, you seem really energized today. Yeah, that's because I eat a lot. And speaking I eat a lot, today's sponsor is a food that I love to eat almost every day. Today's video is sponsored by Magic Spoon, a high-protein, low-carb breakfast cereal that comes in a variety of awesome flavors. Do you guys remember in the beginning of 2021 when I tried to host live streams while I was cooking? And do you remember how in one of them I had to end the stream early because I almost set an oven mitt on fire?
Oh my god, am I setting the pot holder on fire? Yeah,
Set the pot holder on fire. Yeah, in case you guys haven't noticed, cooking really isn't my strong suit. Combine that with the fact that I'm constantly working on this channel, on my company Forever Home Friends, and on my novels. Well, as you guys can guess, I don't really have a ton of time to think about cooking and meal prep and all of that. So that's why I'm really grateful that one of my meals each day is already taken care of. I know I can plan to have a bowl of tasty cereal every day, which will provide me with the protein I need while I'm working on weightlifting, and it won't cause me to set anything on fire. Magic Spoon cereals have 13 to 14 grams of protein and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. They all have 0 grams of sugar with the exception of the new honey nut flavor, which has 1 gram of sugar per serving because of the real honey they use to make it. Magic Spoon cereals also have only 140 calories per serving and are keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. You can build your very own variety box and choose from the best-selling cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cookies and cream, maple waffle, blueberry, and cinnamon, plus the new reformulated honey nut flavor that will now be added to the permanent collection. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee, so if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund you your money, no questions asked. And also, for my Canadian and British viewers, Magic Spoon is now shipping to Canada and to the UK as well. So guys, if this cereal sounds good to you, go ahead and click the link in my description below and use the code SAVVY to get $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/savvy to save $5 on your order today. Thank you also to my Patreon supporters for continuing to support this channel. You guys are great. Patreon supporters who give $5 a month and up are linked in the description below, where they can link their own small businesses, social media pages, or anything else they'd like to, and Patreon supporters' names in total are on the screen. I appreciate you guys. Let's talk about Gabby Bernstein. Gabby Bernstein is a self-help guru extraordinaire. Basically, if you took the Jen Sinceros of the world and the Rachel Hollises of the world and the who else? Mel Robbins, all of those people, she's exactly the same. I know that sounds awful, but like it starts to get really repetitive after a while, doesn't it? I will say she kind of looks like a cross between Rachel Hollis and Heidi Powell is what I noticed. When I was watching her webinar, I kept thinking, why does she remind me of Heidi Powell? It's something in her voice, something in her face. And then I was like, maybe all skinny blonde white ladies look the same to me. And then I was like, but that wouldn't really be fair because I spent most of my life as a skinny blonde white lady. So like that would mean I also look the same. I don't know. But what I think it is that all business gurus start to run together after a while. But Gabby Bernstein is an author. She's been featured on Oprah and all of that. She has 9 books out and they're all about manifestation in one way or another, all about how to manifest happiness, all about how to manifest your goals. And now she is going to teach me a course on how to manifest a best-selling book. Well, let's see, in my time, I currently have published 11 books in my life. That would be 5 picture books about rescue dogs, and the 6th one, which is a picture book about a rescue cat. That one's coming soon. Guys, pre-order for Max the Cat, linked in the description below on foreverhomefriends.com. September 23rd, Max the Vampire Kitty. Our first cat collection's coming out. That's pretty exciting. So I have those 5 picture books currently and a 6th one coming. And then I have my YA novel, 90s Kids. I have my YA novel, One Final Vinyl. I have my new adult novel, Sculpt Yourself. I have my young adult novella, Beauty King, and then I have Cancel Sean Boston, probably my favorite of them all. And then, of course, how could I forget my nonfiction book, Savvy Business Owner. So that's my experience with writing books. In 2019, I graduated DePaul University with a master's degree in writing and publishing from the English department. So I guess you could say I have quite a lot of experience with writing, hence that this channel is Savvy Writes Books. So I want to know what Gabby can teach me that I haven't learned yet. And because of that, I am actually going to take the course along with her. So guys, this is the new journal I've been using. It says rescues are my favorite breed. I love this journal. I think it's so cute. And I've been using it on Your Morning Guru every morning because we recently added a 2-minute free writing journaling thing to our morning show every day. So I've been using it there. So this has been my go-to journal for working on these things. I am going to take notes. I am going to write things. I'm going to journal. I am going to take this course. I'm gonna utilize this free webinar and see if I think that the course is worth it and how much money it's gonna be and all of that. Let's do it. There she is. All right, Gabby, take it away.
Here we are. I'm going to give it a second, letting more and more people come through. We are absolutely live right now. This is one of those moments where even though I'm not live on the stage in front of you, I feel so connected to all the people that are joining in on this training. And I've been hearing all of you just sending me messages, just sending in emails, really putting it out there that you're ready for this. And if you're new to me, my name is Gabby Bernstein. I am a #1 New York Times bestselling author. I am a motivational speaker. I've been in this field for 16 years. I have written 9 best-selling books, multiple New York Times bestsellers, #1 New York Times bestsellers.
You wrote 9 books. Yeah, well, Gabby, I have 11 books out. But to be fair, none of them are New York Times bestsellers. But then also, to be fair, I did a video a little while back about how the New York Times bestseller list is not the most legit thing in the world and can be rigged and all of that. But at the same time, she's way richer than I am, so there's something to be said for that.
Before we begin, is that I had zero writing experience. I had never put a pen to paper, no idea how to spell. I couldn't string a sentence together. But I had a desire to carry a message through books.
Okay, so I have a few things to say about this, first of all. So I want to make it very clear that I don't think that writing should be this elitist field. And I kind of agree with Gabby in the sense that if you're going to write a book, if you have a passion for a story you want to tell and there's something you really want to write, but you've never been the best speller or writing is something you weren't experienced in, everyone has to start somewhere, and that's important. I think it is weird to want to frame the situation of, so here was me when I started at the very beginning before I did anything with writing, before I'd ever tried writing anything before. Now let me sell you my course, because a lot of this she's going to start pitching her course, which is, spoiler alert, it's over $1,000. So to me, it just seems a little bit manipulative to want to say, okay, I'm a New York Times bestseller. You can do it too, which I will be clear. Even if you have never written anything before in your life, if you struggled to write essays in school and gave up on writing and it's not your thing, but you have a story you really, really want to tell in a book, I encourage you to go for it, 100%. I don't think that writing is this thing where it's like, only the most elite people can write. I actually hate that line of thinking in some of the elitism in literary communities. I've actually had issues with that in the academic world, and it's not my thing. I think that writing is for everyone and should be accessible to everyone. But I don't think that if you're someone who's completely brand new to it and has barely tried it before and you're excited about something, that you should right away go ahead and drop $1,000 on a course. I think that that is an absolutely wild extension of the idea. My advice to someone who, if you're really, really passionate about writing and you really want to get a story out there, start writing it down. Start putting your ideas down. Devote an hour of time right now if you have time, or, pause the video right now. I don't care if you leave me for a second because you have an idea burning in your brain. Pause this video. Set a timer for 10 minutes and just write as many things as come into your head that relate to your idea, and don't stop, and then come back later and see if you have anything interesting. Really, I know it's like very asinine sounding advice, but if you want to write something, you just gotta start. You just gotta start doing it. And then learning about the processes of, okay, how do I edit this? How do I make this better? How do I, fix some of these things? How do I go about the process of trying to sell this? Those are things that you can start to learn along the way. And there are books out there that can teach you about that. There are lots of free resources online. There's millions of writers' blogs out there. You can join writing communities on Twitter. Writer Twitter is very active. There's this Facebook group called 20 Books to 50K. And I have a few issues with it, but it does have a lot of self-publishing advice. But my point is, there are free resources for all of this stuff. If you are someone who's brand new at this, start learning from bits of the free resources, see what you can pick up on, and then if it's something that you really do want to pursue for the future, then maybe you can look at some paid content, or then maybe you can look at, taking a class at your local college, or, signing up for Coursera, or signing up for Masterclass, the service where there's a bunch of authors who do things like that. And even the site Coursera has courses that you can take for free. You can audit them. You don't get like a certificate or any college credits for it, but you can audit them and things like that and do that for free. So there are lots of places that you can go where you're not going to instantly drop $1,000 on a course. So I think it seems really shady to me that she's trying to target the people who have never done any writing before. This is for you. Spending thousands of dollars is for you. I'm not a fan.
Maybe you have a book. You want to bring that book out into the world in a bigger way. Maybe you have a book idea. Maybe you just even have the slightest whisper in the back of your mind saying, I think I want to write a book. Wherever you are on your journey, today's training is going to greatly support you. You see, while I have had the privilege of being a spiritual teacher.
What is a spiritual teacher? Additionally to that, I get what she's saying, that this free webinar could be for anyone. No matter where you are on your journey, this free webinar is for you. But as we get into this, we're going to see a lot of this involves her hard selling her course later on, and to rope people in by saying, wherever you are on the journey, my course can be for you. And bring up specifically, if you're someone who's just had this whisper of an idea in your head, I want to write a book. I'll tell you guys something. A lot of people want to write a book. And a lot of people should write a book. If you want to write a book, you absolutely should. But I'll tell you guys that when I talk about my experience writing books, or I'm selling or doing a book signing somewhere, or I'm selling my books at a festival, there will be a lot of people that come up to me and say, oh, I have an idea for a book. Oh, I want to write a book. I get DMs from people all the time that say, I want to write a book. And I encourage that. I think you should. But my point is that if you say, I want to write a book, that is the very first step. Dropping money on a course is not the second step. The second step is figuring out what you want to write your book about, why you want to write about that topic, figuring out what strategies work best for you, if outlining works best for you, or if free writing works best for you. You might want to try out multiple different strategies and see what gets you most motivated and what gets you the most productive. Dropping money on a course is not step one.
The messages that I'm here to teach through my books. I also feel I have another mission in my life, which is to be a midwife for others to bring their books out into the world. And
do you just call yourself a book midwife? We're birthing books out of our P words, Gabby? I'm gonna push a book out of my P word? No more Savvy writes books. Savvy births books out of her vagina. I need a book midwife to pull it out of me. Excuse me, what?
This path of midwifery in the book writing process for others has been a gift that I have claimed, because there's so many people that come through my world, whether it's people that are coached by me or people that are listening to my podcast or reading my books, and they have radical transformations in their life. And with those transformations, they have this desire to write about it. And it has been really a loud call for me to be that midwife to help you carry these messages out. I've trained thousands.
Okay, you know what? I need to start writing notes in this notebook. So here we go. Notes on Gabby. Oh, there we go. This is what I'm writing right now. Number one, Gabby is a book midwife.
Through my bestseller masterclass training on how to write and market their best-selling books. Drop. I have countless bestsellers under my belt. My biggest brag is not my books. My biggest brag is the books of my students. And so today is my first opportunity to teach you. And so here's what we're going to cover today. We've really got a full breakdown of lots of goodness that's coming through.
Wait, if your biggest brag isn't your books, but the books of your students, then why have you mentioned your own books and how many New York Times bestsellers you have multiple times, but haven't told us who any of your students are yet? Just curious.
Through this training, the first thing is the only thing you need to prioritize to have your best-selling book. There's only one thing, and I'm going to reveal it today. Without this, it's going to be a little messy. So we got to make sure we really drive this one home.
One thing.
I'm going to teach you the biggest mistake that most writers make and how you can avoid it. Because if I give you this information, it will save you a lot of time and a lot of headache and heartache as well. The number one reason you're blocking your best-selling book and how to fix it. So there's a lot of us that have these desires and there's a big block. And so I want to really just drive it home, honor it, respect it, befriend it, and then work with it so that we don't have to let that block stand in our way of bringing forth this message in your own unique ways. And then number 4, my secret method for marketing your bestseller, which is something that I'm so proud to talk about. Marketing is a huge part of this process because, look, you can write the best book in the world, but if you don't tell the story, if you don't carry the message, if you don't bring forth your big ideas into the world, if you aren't unapologetic.
I completely agree that marketing is a big piece of it, and I'd actually be interested to learn from her about the marketing element of it a little bit, because I do think she's better at that than I am by far. I'm very excited to know what the one thing is that's blocking authors. I will talk real quick about, in my experience, what I've seen about things that have been blocking me, and as you guys probably know, if you've been on this channel before, I used to teach creative writing to students of all ages. I've taught it to kids, I've taught it to teenagers. That was a thing that I did in the pre-pandemic times. So when it comes to kids, I've noticed that a big thing that, and this applies to adults as well, that is a block for them writing is being stuck in the like school mindset, the mindset where it's like, okay, I need to get this right to turn it in for a grade, and if I don't get it right, it will be wrong and I will lose points. And even if you know objectively that that's not going to be true for the thing that you're writing, if the thing you're writing is either just for fun, or it's fiction, or there's nobody grading it, or it's just a first draft and there's no deadline, even if you know those things objectively, it can just be really hard to get out of the mental habit of thinking that way about it. So that's one of the biggest hurdles that I've noticed. And the best way I've found to get past that is through doing free writing exercises like we do in the mornings on your Morning Guru now, where you set a timer for a low number of minutes, usually 2 to 10 minutes, somewhere in there. Give yourself a prompt of some kind. You can even just Google like random writing prompts and pull the first one you see, and now tell yourself, okay, once I hit the start button on this timer, the idea of what I'm working on, I have to tie into this prompt somehow. And it'll kind of force your brain to start drawing connections, and also give yourself the rule that you are not allowed to lift up your pen or pencil at all. And once you do that, it really gets ideas going, because, you know, you're writing, you're forcing yourself to keep writing. And I would even tell my students, like, even if the thing that's coming into your head right now is, oh my God, I don't know what to write that. Even if the thing that's coming into your head right now is, I'm sleepy, write that. Keep trying to get your brain back onto the topic, but if you don't, I prioritize continuing to write. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to grade it. No one's going to grade this. I just want to see that you're doing it. And if you can give yourself that kind of assignment and start working on it yourself, that can be a huge way to overcome that hurdle. Now, outlining for some people is going to be a lot more important than going in a free writing kind of way. So if you're very new to writing, you should try out multiple different styles like that. But that's one of the things that I've seen be people's biggest hurdles. That, and just not prioritizing it in their schedule, which I understand, because jobs, kids, life obligations, a lot of that is very important. So one thing I've been doing lately is trying to give myself a specific hour a day where I say, okay, during this hour, I do nothing but write. I don't look at my phone. Chewy will have just gone out, so unless there's an emergency, he's not going to need me. And I know that can be easier said than done for a lot of people, but that's just a suggestion I have for that, because those are some of the biggest blocks I've noticed. I'm wondering if Gabby's going to say something similar, but I'm going to keep taking notes as we go.
Apologetic about your great work, then people may never find it. And so we have to really be in that place of honoring and owning that our work has a place in the world, and that we have a mission and a message to share. Here we go. So before I jump in, I just want everybody to give each other some love in the chat. My team is sharing some of the chat questions with me. I just know that tons of you guys are rolling in right now. We've got thousands and thousands of people.
Now, I wish I could have been in the chat. I recorded this in advance, and I'm reacting to it now. I recorded the training on OBS while I was sick, but I had no voice at the time. I couldn't have done this live. Otherwise, I wish I could have been in the chat. That would have been fun.
Today is a sneak peek into what I teach inside my bestseller masterclass training. And it's the most important, most critical methods that you need to know.
There it is. It's a sneak peek of what's in the training. Let's keep a running bingo. How many times has she mentioned the course? This is the free training, but how many times has she mentioned the paid course? I believe we're at 2 right now, but hold on. I'll make a specific tally on this page. We'll say number of mentions of paid course. I believe we're at 2. Wow, that doesn't look like the word course. I can't write from this angle. I'll put 2 tally marks there so far, and then we'll continue after that.
In order to take this journey with me. So let's start with the only thing you need to prioritize. Here we go. There's one secret thing that really should not be a secret at all.
To write a best-selling book, and that is
having a core message.
Core message.
What's
there
a core message? A
core
message is the clear through line of the promise of the book. And one of the great keys to success is to start everything with an intention. So I start emails with an intention. I start calls with an intention.
I don't think she's wrong here. I think that is actually a good point. When it comes to the way I like to frame this when I'm talking to people about writing is, whatever project you're working on, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, an assignment, whatever, the things you want to keep in mind are purpose and audience, right? And I think a lot of us probably learned this in high school, but I think it's something that's very easy to forget when we're suddenly trying to write, like, oh, wait. How do I want to phrase this? What kind of style do I want to do this in? How do I want to kind of play this out? The thing that'll keep you going is to remember, first of all, what the purpose is. Is the goal of this, if it's fiction, maybe the goal of it's to entertain somebody, and then, okay, maybe I want to include some humor in this. Maybe I want to try playing with some character voices that are going to immerse people, things like that. If it's nonfiction, I mean, that could still be part of the goal, but if it's nonfiction, you want to look at, is my goal to change someone's mind? Is my goal to inform someone on something? And that's going to affect the tone that you're going to take, right? And then audience, of course. Audience being, who's going to buy this book? Is it for adults? Is it for children? You're going to approach things very differently based on that. And not only that, is this book for someone who has a baseline of knowledge in this topic? Is this book, like if you're writing a fictional book, like let's say, okay, you're going to write a historical romance. Is this historical romance for people who already love historical romances and probably have, you know, vague background knowledge of the time period that you're talking about and romance tropes and things like that? That might affect the way you write something and how you might subvert certain tropes or play into certain tropes, versus if you're going to write a historical romance that's maybe satirical and people who are reading it maybe aren't usually readers of historical romance, and maybe you want to do a little more world building about the history or describe things in a different type of way. Keeping audience in mind and purpose is important. So I think the core message thing she's getting at there is true. I think that's true.
I start books with an intention, and the intention is the core message. What is the promise of this book? What is the message I'm here to share? Whether it's a memoir or it's a personal growth self-help book, doesn't matter. They always have to have a core message.
Are those our only options? Memoirs and personal growth self-help books? I guess that's what she has experience in writing, but I'm like, there's so many more genres, dude.
A core through line that leads the reader all the way through. Why do you need this core message? If you don't have a core message, what will happen is you'll end up having 5 or 6, and ultimately you'll end up writing multiple books in one. You will write yourself into circles. You'll have too many intentions in one book. So I'm going to give you examples right now of what some...
That, and of course, then you can't sell each different message as an entirely separate book like Gabby does. Guys, we're going to be reviewing some of Gabby's books on this channel. As I mentioned, I just ordered some of them recently. I don't know a lot about them, so I'm not going to review them before I've read them, but they all seem to be very similar, and they're going to get repetitive, right? That's how it comes across. It's like, this book is about how you can manifest things, and this book is about how you can use the universe for things. And it's like, okay, they don't seem like they're about a lot, but I'm going to give them a try. If I'm wrong, I will come back and admit that. But like, for example, if you look at Jen Sincero's books, for example, she's got You Are a Badass, and then she's got You Are a Badass at Making Money. Those didn't need to be 2 separate books. Actually, neither of them needed to exist at all. Neither of them really said anything other than vibrate on a different frequency, sheeple. I don't know.
Very clear core messages are, here we go. Stack up all my books in my hands. Here we go. So as you know, I've written 9 books in 11 years, and these books...
I've written 11 books in 9 years. Okay, Gabby? Is that true? I have 11 books out. When did I publish the first one? 2016. I published 11 books in 6 years. It's even better ratio, Gabby. None of them were bestsellers, though. She's still more successful than me. It's all good.
Again, with 0 writing experience. So, you know, you can do it. Anybody can do it. I am your teacher. You can do this. So here's a great example. Core message. Where are you, Super Attractor? Super Attractor.
Okay, so the whole anyone can do it, I agree. Writing books should be accessible to everyone who wants to. But I think the whole idea of like, I think just saying anyone can do it kind of brushes it off as if it's easy. Writing books is not easy, guys. And I know a lot of people who kind of get sold this false narrative that it's easy and they give up partway through. Because writing a book is hard. It's hard to get through all of it. It can sometimes, I think it's fun. I have a fantastic time doing it. I love writing. I'm not one of those self-loathing writers, which if you are a self-loathing writer, power to you, dude. Self-loathing writers, that's a whole mood. I love that, but it's just not me. So I'm a writer who loves writing. I have a lot of fun with it, but there's also challenges. It also takes a lot of work. It also takes a lot of learning. And so anyone can do it. Anyone can do it if you put in the time and the work and you learn and you gain the experience. But the whole anyone can do it, you just got to drop more than 4 figures on my masterclass. Wrong message. Wrong message. As an author, I find that insulting.
Methods for manifesting a life beyond your wildest dreams. The core message often, and
That sounds like a terrible book. Sorry,
often
Gabby.
should become the subtitle. Your subtitle really
Okay, I think that depends on your goal. Should the core message become the subtitle? If it's nonfiction, yes, I would agree. So I wrote Savvy Business Owner, subtitle, a book for small business owners, right? Because that was the kind of the core message, is that this book is about starting a small business. This isn't about getting rich and making tons of money. This is about my path to the specific things that I did to get a small business off the ground and how to do things on that small and individual level. So I agree. I think that fiction can have subtitles, specifically if you're trying to have fun with the Amazon metadata, is the best way I can explain this. So, like, for example, I'm working on a couple romance novels right now. And because of the way that people shop for romance, specifically on Kindle and on ebooks and things like that, and this is kind of the marketing angle, most romance novels and fiction in general doesn't really have subtitles. But adding a subtitle in can help it when people search for certain things on websites, and that thing is in the title, it's going to prioritize things that are in the title in the search, right? So, for example, you'll see a lot of romance novels that'll be like, that'll just jam all the tropes into there because people search for certain tropes with romance. So, like, let's say your book is called Love Me, Daddy. The book is Love Me, Daddy, a male-female enemies to lovers romance. Like, it'll say something like that. Like, people will just put a bunch of those kind of things in there that people will be searching for. So, that's just an example of how you can use subtitles in fiction. But when it comes to fiction and you're doing it for like Amazon metadata purposes, making the core message the subtitle, I don't think is accurate advice. Because, like, for example, this one that I'm writing is going to be about two rival brewery owners, and I've been working on that one for a little while now, and I'm almost done with the outline. So that one, I'm playing with a few titles, considering is 2 beers for New Year's, because that rhymes. So if that was my title, I would have a subtitle, but the subtitle wouldn't be about the core message, because putting the core message in the title of fiction is kind of weird. Stating the theme directly like that in the title is kind of weird, in my opinion. Instead, for marketing purposes, I'm going to call it a male-female bisexual childhood friends to enemies to lovers. Wait, childhood friends to rivals to enemies to lovers romance. Put holiday or small town in there somewhere too. But that's the point. You put it in there because of what people are searching for, right? But with nonfiction, again, if she's talking specifically about self-help, nonfiction, things like that, it's going to be different.
is where you tell the reader, hey, this is what you're going to get. This is what I can promise you. Because not everybody knows what a super attractor is out of the gate, but the subtitle tells them what it is.
Super attractor sounds like super scammer. Are you a magnet, Gabby? Do you attract things to yourself like a magnet? Am I going to hang you up on the refrigerator?
Here's a very important core message from Happy Days that my publishers did not want me to name my book Happy Days. They thought it was like too much like the TV show, and they just didn't like it. And I had many reasons why I wanted to do it. One is a personal reason that you find out when you read the book. It says,
that's amazing that she has so much pull with big publishers that she's able to tell them no when they want her to name the book something different. Most authors don't have that. When you self-publish, obviously you can name it whatever you want. I personally wouldn't recommend naming it Happy Days either, because the people who are going to search for it are going to be searching for the TV show, but okay.
It's a personal meaning to me, and autobiographical meaning. And number 2, I really wanted to put a very high vibe promise in the title to really help people say, yeah, I want that. I want to feel.
But what it sounds like you're promising them is a book about the TV show Happy Days, so I don't agree that that's a good title. Like, for example, I will talk about how I named my book Savvy Business Owner. And the reason for that was that I was seeing people use the hashtag Savvy Business Owner on Instagram a lot for promoting MLM products. Like, people be like, oh my God, here's my Monate downline. I'm such a boss babe, hashtag Savvy Business Owner. And I was like, no, I'm Savvy. My name is Savvy and I'm a business owner. So I'm going to reclaim that. I'm going to take that hashtag for myself. So now when people who are already using the hashtag use it, my book's going to come up. So that was my idea. I even talked about that in the book a little bit. So I'm not sure Happy Days is a good title, but if it's selling well, good for her.
Happy Days, I want that. But I knew that I had to balance it with a core message, with a subtitle that was going to really tell the reader what the journey that they were about to go on. So I don't want people opening this book if they're not interested in healing their trauma. So this core message.
Wait, Gabby, why are you teaching people about healing their trauma? Are you a therapist? Are you a licensed therapist, Gabby? Why are you teaching people how to manifest their way out of trauma? I'll have to read the book before I can judge it. But that sounds sus. Gabby, are you speaking? Is that why you looked like Heidi Powell to me? Because she ran SusCon and you're both sus? Is this some sus shit? Are we playing Among Us today, Gabby?
The guided path from trauma to profound freedom and inner peace is what made my publishers say yes to Happy Days as the title. So the core message really can take the reader to a place of understanding what they're signing up for and why it helps you. So
I understand that I'm signing up to get a non-licensed therapist, a non-licensed anything, to tell me how to overcome trauma? I understand that I need to stay the fuck away from this book, is what it sounds like.
it gives you this opportunity to really know where you're going, know the through line of the book. And you're going to want your core message to show up in every single chapter, in all of your marketing materials, on your subtitle, when you talk about it with friends. What's really valuable is I imagine a lot of you right now, when you talk about your book ideas, you might feel a lot of insecurity, and just raise your hand in the chat if that's the case, because a lot of people can feel really insecure, like, oh, I don't know how I could possibly have that experience, or what, or they share about their book and they start to fumble. I see this all the time. People be like, my book is 6 steps to loving yourself more and not knowing how to feel this and to release the pain and to get to this place. And I'm always like, what? You want to have it be so clear. And when you get that core message crystal clear, you can say, oh, what's your book about? Well, it's a guided path from trauma to profound freedom and inner peace. What's your book about? Oh, the book is about transforming fear into faith. The universe has your back. Hello.
The universe has your back, transforming fear into faith. I don't like that. I ordered it. I'm going to read it before I review it. But oh my God, this all sounds like such... If you manifest it, it will come. And let me tell you guys, I've talked about this when I reviewed You Are a Badass, and I will talk about this again when I review Gabby's books probably. One of the reasons I absolutely hate manifestation and law of attraction stuff is that I have bad OCD that I am medicated for. And I know a lot of... When I did my Brene Brown video, I took some surveys. A lot of my viewership is neurodivergent in some way as well. And from what I've seen in my comments, people can relate to this. When you have something like OCD, where you get intrusive thoughts, specifically intrusive thoughts of the type that are like, if you think this while you're doing this, everyone is going to die. Savvy, if you tapped the dresser an even number of times instead of an odd number of times, and on the odd numbers you didn't apply more force than on the even numbers, that means that all of your family members who are in the photo on top of the dresser are going to die because that act wished death upon them. Now that's an intrusive thought that I have. Am I manifesting that? Are my thoughts attracting those things to me? I sure fucking hope not, because I'm never going to recover. I'm never going to live my life being able to manage OCD if that is how this is. And so just like the whole concept of you can think things and make them real is so detrimental to people with mental illnesses. So I just cannot stand it. I just cannot stand it.
When you have that clear message, it gives you the confidence to talk about your book. It gives you the confidence to write the book, and it gives you the clarity to make sure you don't write 5 books in one book.
Now, I will say I agree with her regarding having a consistent message throughout the book. I agree that keeping things focused and having things return to that core message, absolutely. For nonfiction especially, she's not wrong.
You don't write yourself into circles because you really don't want to mess that up. And then let's see, are there any other examples? I think another good example of a core message is add more ing to your life, which a lot of people...
Now, that title... That is not a good title. Add more ing to your life? That sounds dirty. Add more ing? It sounds like you're trying to censor something. Hey, you want to add more ing to our lives? It sounds like a commercial. You know what it is? It sounds like a commercial that's trying to sound like an innuendo as a joke, but has to stay friendly for TV. Like imagine it's a commercial for gum. It's a commercial for Ing brand gum. So it's a hot girl going up to a guy being like, hey, do you want to add more ing to your life? And he's like, I'd like to ing you, baby. And then she's like, here, have some ing. And she shares the gum with him, and then ing gum on the screen. Like, that's what ing sounds like. Add more ing to your life. It sounds like that. I don't know what the title's supposed to mean otherwise.
People may not understand what that title means until you read the book. You won't understand it. So you have the core message, title? A hip guide to happiness. Clear, clear, crystal clear. Boom.
That's not clear. A hip guide to happiness. What does that mean? What does happiness mean? What is life? What are we doing in this universe? Is our only purpose in this world to suffer? That's not what I mean. I'm sorry.
This core message stuff is very important. So I'm going to give you an exercise. This is your first exercise.
Yes,
in this
exercise. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Also, I'll share it with a story. So I was doing a live event in the UK.
Wait, before she gets into this, I'm trying to decide for the exercises. I've said I want to write another nonfiction book at some point. I don't know what about, though. I'm working on a few fiction things right now, but I think Gabby's advice is more geared towards nonfiction. So you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I am going to take this course right now as if I'm a student who does not have a book idea yet. I'm starting at behind square one. I'm at square zero. I'm at square negative 69 over here. I don't know what I want to write for my book at all. I just know I want to write a nonfiction self-help style book. I read so many of them for this channel. I might as well write one, right? So I've decided that's my passion. I'm going to write one. I don't know what my book's going to be about, but let's take this course. Let's take this training and see what I can do. So I'm going to do the exercise from that perspective, and we'll see if at the end I have a nonfiction book idea.
And it was about The Universe Has Your Back. I was teaching The Universe Has Your Back before it came out into print. And I didn't have a subtitle yet for the book. And I'd been trying to figure out what a subtitle could be. And I thought, you know what? We're here. We're live. There's like 1,000 of you in the audience. Let me just literally workshop my audience right now and see what they think. And so I just started speaking extemporaneously about what the book was about. And I got some buy-in from them. I said, hey guys, would you guys want to workshop my subtitle with me? Because I want to find it right now. And they were like, yes. You know, all the Brits were like, absolutely, Gabby, we would love to. And so I'm in this live event and I've got all these like very polite British people and I'm there with this idea. So I'm talking about The Universe Has Your Back. And I just start speaking, telling them what it's about in my own words. It's about trusting the universe. It's about feeling faithful. It's about releasing fear. It's about transforming your fear into faith. Boom. There it was. In that moment, I talked my way into.
So I agree with this. I like this idea of how you talk your way into something. I've heard this in the programming world. I'm not a programmer, but my husband's a programmer. A lot of my friends are programmers. I have programmer friends, guys. But my point is, in the programmer world, I hear this called rubber duckying a lot, where the idea is, the concept of rubber duckying is just talking through something to arrive at the conclusion yourself. The idea is like, pick up a little rubber ducky. You don't necessarily need another person to talk to. Really, you just need to work it out as if you have to try to explain it to someone else to get over that hurdle in your brain. So explain it to the little rubber ducky, explain the problem, and then you might come up to the solution there. So what Gabby's talking about here is rubber duckying, which I agree with.
My core message. So here's your first exercise.
Here it is.
I want you to find a spiritual running buddy. And if you don't have somebody yet.
I'm sorry, a what? A spiritual what? I don't have one of those.
That you trust to help you with this process. You could just speak it into a phone and record yourself.
I guess I'll speak it at this camera and record myself because I'm already doing that.
I want you to press record on your voice memo, whether you're alone or with a friend. And I want you to just describe to them or to your phone what your book is about. Just talk. Talk for about 5 minutes, recording yourself. Talk. And when you just let it out, the answers can be revealed to you. Don't think, just talk, stream of conscious talking. You can also do stream of conscious writing and just let it out, just defining and describing what the promise of the book is. Once you listen back or reread or hear back from your friend what they were resonating with, you will feel it when you find it.
All right, let's do it. We're doing this. You know who's my spiritual running buddy? Who's a better spiritual running buddy than one of my own book characters? Yo, what's up? This is Sean Boston the Puppet. Hey, what's up? I'm Sean. Alright, Sean, so I need a little help from you today. Yo, what's up, Savvy? What's wrong? This is completely improvised right now. I didn't script any of this. This is a live reaction video, and I didn't know what was gonna happen. Oh, reaction video? I don't really like those, Savvy, because I don't know if you remember this, but I got canceled from that art reaction video and that drummer reaction video. I don't remember if you remember that, but my internet drama came from reaction videos, so I don't like YouTubers very much anymore, even though I am one. Oh, Sean, we have that in common, I think. So, Sean, you're the main character of my book, Cancel Sean Boston, that I released this past August, which is the tale of you being an internet celebrity who gets canceled after being exposed in 2 different videos. Excuse me, did you just call me the main character? If I remember correctly, you made me the villain. I was not the main character. You made those Rick and Lindsay, those people that fell in love in my comment section of them canceling me, you made them the main characters. But you made me, this cute little guy, you made me the villain. Why would you do that, Savvy? I thought you cared about me. Sean, I'm sorry. I hope you know that right now we're working on book 2 in the series where you're not going to be a villain. You're going to have your redemption arc. I better get my redemption arc. I've been sitting in that chair just smiling and looking cute for the past couple months, and I didn't even get my redemption arc yet. I totally understand, Sean. So, Sean, since you've been helpful to me in coming up with ideas and being an inspiration and literally being a book character that I came up with, stop touching my boobs, dude. Oh, are you gonna cancel me for that too? Huh? Am I getting me too'd now? Huh? Sean, shut the fuck up. My question is, if I want to write a nonfiction self-help book, Sean, what should it be about? How about you write a self-help book about getting canceled on the internet, since you seem to have so much fun doing it to me? Sean, I didn't cancel you. A fictional character canceled you. I also created you. I created you as much as I created the fictional person who canceled you. Okay. Well, how about you write a book about how it feels when somebody takes away your source of income by canceling you online, by exposing you. Sean, okay, I didn't do anything wrong. You got canceled in the book because you stole art from another creator. You just got exposed for doing what you did. What? Plagiarism's not cool, Sean. You shouldn't do it. Well, then why don't you write a book about that? Write a nonfiction book about all the problems with plagiarism in the world. Write a Girl Stop Plagiarizing book. Why don't you do that? I don't know. I've considered it before, like writing a book about the ethics of online journalism and things like that, and how things get kind of taken and spun over and over again, and there isn't a lot of like genuine report. Like, I've considered that, but also the idea kind of stresses me out because it feels very serious. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Okay, well, how about you write a nonfiction book called Conversations with My Puppet? My story of how I figure out about what to write about by talking to a puppet and making him my stupid fucking spiritual running buddy. You know what? You know what? I wish I could be your running buddy, Savvy, but I don't have any fucking legs on, okay? I don't have any legs on right now. Where'd you put my legs? I think I left them in the suitcase when I packed you to go to New Orleans. I had to take your legs off so that you'd fit in the suitcase properly. Oh, so it's cool to just take people's legs on and off, and that's just totally fine thing to do. Okay, you know what? There's the idea for you. You want me to be your little rubber ducky bitch? Okay. Write a story about having conversations with a stupid fucking puppet and looking insane on the internet. There's your story, you dumb bitch. Alright, Sean, I'll do my best. You are not that helpful. Ugh. My hand up. Just leave Sean screaming into the void in the background there. Alright, let's continue what we're doing. I'll do Gabby's exercise with this idea in my mind now called Conversations with My Puppet. That's the title of the book. Alright, hold on. Let me write that down. Conversations with My Puppet. I'm making this up as we go. Let's get meta. I'm gonna write a book about how to come up with ideas, because that's the thing that people ask me sometimes. I don't know if I'm actually gonna write this book. I'm just gonna write it for Gabby's course, right? Conversations with My Puppet. A guide to overcoming writer's block. All right, Gabby, take it away.
Or really when it finds you. And you're going to be really crystal clear about what that core message is and how you can begin to use it as you speak about the book, as you sell the book to a publisher, as you begin the journey of writing the book, whatever the path may be, that core message is going to be by your side all the way through till the end of time, because hopefully you'll be promoting these books forever. And you're going to need that core message right by your side. And I really go deep into the core message inside my bestseller masterclass digital course. And that's where I've trained thousands and thousands of students.
All right, number 3. Third mention. That's her third mention of the paid course. She gave us one exercise and didn't even really go into it or give me time to stop and spend time working on the exercise or anything. All I have so far is Conversations with My Puppet, a guide to overcoming writer's block. Maybe, you know what? Maybe that'll just be what it is. A guide to overcoming. A lot of people sometimes have trouble overcoming writer's block. Is this going to be a good idea for a whole book? Do I really have a whole book worth of material? I just like Conversations with My Puppet as a title. Conversations with My Puppet. Oh, you know what? It could be about it. Oh, I could do something about like retaining imagination, because guys, I play with toys. You guys know that. I love toys. Creativity, playful creativity for the professional adult. I'll try that as a subtitle. Guys, if I come up with a good idea from this, like, I'll have to hand it to Gabby and say, thanks, I appreciate it. Let's keep going.
And I've witnessed my students come in, whether I was in the room live with them or they were in the digital course, and the course is now only digital. And I've experienced so many questions from people coming in saying, you know, I thought my book was supposed to be one thing, but when I did the core message module, I realized really clearly that it was something else.
I guess I just realized that, not even from the module. I realized that from going from I don't have any idea for a new nonfiction book right now to a book about playful creativity for the professional entrepreneur. Conversations with my puppet. Although I came up with that title, I guess because she gave me she told me to have a spiritual running buddy, and I chose that puppet on my chair. But that just goes to show you guys, you can find inspiration anywhere. Here, I'll give you an exercise to do. You don't need to pay for Gabby's course. And I didn't even need to do a module to do this. I just did that right now. So here's the thing. If you want to come up with an idea for a new book right now, find an object within your spiritual running buddy is going to be whatever object. Find something within a 10-foot radius that has eyes. That's my prompt for you. So maybe it's a photo of you and someone in your family. Maybe it's a stuffed animal you have. Maybe there's nothing with eyes in a 10-foot radius and you have to walk into another room and find your cat. Find something with eyes and start talking to it and imagine what it's saying back to you and see if a book idea comes. I'll put that exercise in the book.
And they're so grateful when they write in because they're like, I needed that clarity, because without that clarity, I would have wasted my time. They also express back that without that clarity of the core message, they would have really been stuck, like a lot of writer's block, because you have so many ideas. You're trying to put yourself into all these different positions and you're screwed if you have too many big ideas. You need to really get close and clear. Look, I wrote 9 books in 11 years because I had a core message for every single one of them. Had I not, I might have written 9 books in one, and that would have been a disaster. So that clarity has helped them, just given them the freedom to really know where to go and what to do with that core message. And we've opened up the bestseller masterclass training. One of my students, Alicia Paz, said this course has helped.
Okay, that's the 4th mention of we've opened up the masterclass training. And guys, right now, while I'm filming this, while this video premieres, the registration will be closed. But while I'm filming it, the registration's open. So we're going to look at all the details of the course then. She's doing the false scarcity business guru shit. So she's spending time reading from one of her testimonials now. That's not giving me any training. You're just hard selling me again.
Helped me know where to put my energy. I loved learning about the core message. It kept me on track and made the process way more fun. Alicia B said that. So really, really valuable. And so right now we've opened the Bestseller Masterclass digital course. It's open for the next few days.
I feel like I know like 10 people named Lisa B. Is that like is it really common to have your last name start with a B if your name's Lisa? I know like 10 Lisa B's. It's insane. One of them made the Sims house of SAVY and RK.
And I'm so excited that you guys can check it out. The lessons I'm teaching you today are really some of the core messages and core principles of that course. The link is below at any point that you want to check it out. And it's an 8-module course that's really designed to help you bring your best-selling book to life, how to market it, how to find that publishing path, how to get a publisher, how to self-publish, a 6-month marketing plan. I share the Gabby playbook inside that
I need to look this up, but has Gabby ever self-published? So I would call myself a hybrid author. I've published with publisher, and I've also self-published, and I've also started my own business to publish, but like I've done multiple different paths. I've never published with a big 5 publisher though. I've never gone the big business route because that's not my thing. I always think it's interesting that a lot of times people will have a course where they're like, this book will teach you how to find a big publisher or self-publish, whichever one you want. Regardless of what path you want, it's all here in the same course. When in reality, there's a lot of people who are usually specialized in one or the other. But I don't know, so I won't judge. The information might be good. I don't know.
Marketing plan.
Not going to pay and find
just
out.
For people who are here today, we have an amazing 24-hour bonus for anyone that's here today, and that is a Nail Your Title workshop. And as I mentioned, your title is also a really important thing when it comes to core message, because
then how is the add ing to your life? How is that a good title? There's no message in that. Add ing. The fuck is ing? Chewing gum, put it up your butt. There you go.
Your title might be funky. Your title might be super attractor, or the universe has your back, and you need to define it. You need to give
Conversations
the
with
title.
My puppet. That's a good title.
It's
I'm down for that.
It's promise. Your title is usually sexier than your core message or your subtitle, but that's why you need the not so sexy core message to tell the story.
Yep. Conversations with my puppet, playful creativity for professional. I want to change the subtitle. Playful. Oh, turn fear into faith. Turn professional into playful. Something like that. A guide. Go from professional to playful. Okay. We're going to do the alliteration thing. It's going to be something about being professional and playful. I'm here for it.
Once again, there's a full-blown module on core message. It's one of the most important things I teach in that training.
Once again, you have name dropped your course. That's 5. We have 5 tally marks for number of times. She's hard sold us her course. And we're not even close to halfway through this training yet.
In the Bestseller Masterclass, do not miss this moment. And to take core message even further, anyone who registers for the Bestseller Masterclass today is going to get that fast action bonus of nail your title workshop.
Shit, Gabby.
Okay,
I've already got my book concept.
The biggest mistakes that most writers, oh, actually, you know what? The nail your title workshop is a bonus, but that's also, there's a fast action bonus that I'll get to later. All right. The biggest mistake that most writers make and how to avoid it. I know I'm excited right now because I'm sweating my ass off in this black little ISO booth. I'm going to take off my socks because I'm sweating.
I am too, but that could be the COVID.
Sweating. Okay. So the biggest mistake that most writers make, and I'm probably sweating because it makes me so nervous to even talk about this to you because I do not want you to make this mistake. The biggest mistake.
She's really building this up. What is it?
That most writers make is that they often can not know where they're going. They don't have a clear outline. And I'm going to actually hop into the chat. Let me see if I can hop into the chat to see if that's
Okay, so the biggest mistake is no clear outline. I'm going to disagree with this. I think that can be the biggest mistake for some writers. I don't think she's wrong. I think her advice is just a little bit narrow in scope based on her own experience. So in the online writing community, there's this common thing that we have called plotters, pantsers, and plantsers. That's a fun little meme, I guess, that we have. Basically what it is it's about your approach to writing a new project. So if you call yourself a plotter, that means that you're probably someone who, like Gabby says, you want a clear outline. You want to map out exactly what you're doing. And there are lots of resources online. If you watch the Cancel Sean Boston streams that RK and I did when we were first writing the book, or the ones we're doing now for our sequel to it, during those we did exercises online on the website Story Planner. You can find free exercises and paid exercises on that website to do your outline if that's something that you're interested in doing. And if you find that outlining is something that really works for you, that's great. For other people, outlining doesn't work. They are what we call pantsers, because the idea is you're flying by the seat of your pants, right? You're just pantsing it. The idea is that in that case, you are someone who kind of wings it a little more. You like to just write stuff and see where it takes you because bursts of new ideas are coming while you're immersing yourself in the story rather than planning it out ahead of time. So which one of those you are, you're going to probably have to work on your writing a little bit and figure out which one tends to work more for you. Now there are people who call themselves plantsers who like to do a little bit of both, who like to get a rough outline, who like to, figure out what my major plot points, or in the case of a nonfiction book, what the major organizations for the sections are going to be, what kind of information I want to share, but not outline the specifics of everything, not get it all like beat by beat down to like the paragraph. Instead, you spend some time free writing those things and seeing where it takes you and altering it as you go, but having a rough outline and idea. So there's different ways you can do it, but to say that having no clear outline is the biggest mistake writers make in general, I think is very short-sighted, because that's not the process that works for everyone. Different writing processes are going to work for different ways of thinking, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. So I think calling that a mistake is a little short-sighted in terms of what it actually means to be an author.
That's an issue for you. Post inside the chat. Let me know. Is that an issue for you? Like, do you literally not know where you're going when you're writing your outline? Oh my God, there's so many of you in this chat. I can't even begin. All right. So let me know, like, yes, Gabby's struggling with outline. Oh my God, there's so many. Just type it right in and I want to see when it comes to the top. Here we go. All right. Yep. I'm seeing your comments come in. Okay. The reason that this is a big issue, and has anyone written themselves into circles? You can throw that into the chat and let me know. The reason this is such a big issue when you're in the process of writing the book is that, yeah, everyone's saying 100% yes. Yep. I published 3 books until now and would love to improve my marketing. Good. We're going to get to that at the end of the training. Yeah. People are writing in the chat saying, yep, I have no idea how to do an outline. Yes, no clue, just have ideas. Well, here's the good news. I give an entire module inside the Bestseller Masterclass on how to create your outline.
Oh, wow. Here's the good news. You just got another tally mark for numbers of mentions of your paid course within the free training you're supposed to do. How about you tell me about that course once at the beginning, once at the end, and maybe you can remind me of it once in the middle. But to bring it up, we're still not even halfway through the training, and she's brought it up 6 times. If you keep reminding me of it like this, I'm going to feel like I'm not really getting anything out of this. I'm just getting a sales pitch, Gabby.
And I'm going to give you a lesson today to get you started. So without your outline, you're going to write yourself into circles. It's going to be a disaster. You're not.
That's not true. Plenty of people write without outlining. It depends on the type of project you're doing. It depends on the type of creative method that works best for you. You really have to try things out and find what works best for you. But to tell people you're going to write yourself into circles, it's going to be a disaster if you write without an outline, then you end up getting people who maybe outlining just actually isn't the best method for them and they haven't tried enough stuff to know it yet. And they're just going to keep agonizing over this outline that isn't working for them when it actually would have been a lot more productive for them to just try writing the thing. Okay? So, Gabby, let people try out different writing methods. Don't say one is a universally a disaster. That's very rude.
Going to know where to go. You're going to feel like it's going to take you 10 years to write a book that could take you 3 months. With a clear outline for the book and a clear outline for every chapter, that's what I call the outline within the outline.
The only book I've clearly outlined every chapter for ahead of time was Cancel Sean Boston, and that's because RK and I were writing that together simultaneously. So if you guys didn't see, the way we wrote that was we wrote the whole thing on live streams. We started live streams in early 2020 where we would go on the stream and work together, like joking around and doing these exercises on the Story Planner website to outline things. So we'd work on the outline together. And then we decided to start working on the book itself. We did that during NaNoWriMo of 2020. So we were like, okay, this is November. It's NaNoWriMo time, which is basically the write 50K words in 30 days challenge, right? So since we were both writing at the same time and we would host a stream, we'd be like, all right, during this writing sprint, the two of us are going to write together. That meant that we didn't have the ability to read what the other person wrote in the section before the one I didn't get to read his chapter before I wrote my chapter, right? We were writing them at the same time. And so we had still a few continuity errors that we had to fix in editing, but we didn't want a million continuity errors. We didn't want the whole plot to fall apart. So we did outline every chapter to make sure that we knew exactly what was going to happen in every chapter so that the story fit together when we wrote it. But that was the only circumstance I think where I have outlined every chapter before I even began writing the story itself. 90s Kids I did a million free writes of and then figured out the chapter organization of it later. I knew there was going to kind of be an alternating time period kind of thing, but I didn't outline every individual chapter. I started writing it. I knew roughly where different plot points were going to happen, and I wrote that and rewrote that and reorganized that and things like that. So, and One Final Vinyl, that was my Pantser novel. I had no outline when I started that book. I had a rough idea of I wanted to have a story about a girl going through mental illness issues, the night before she leaves for college, having an elderly woman knock on her door, having accidentally driven and gotten lost on the way back from the retirement home, only to have this girl go with her to take her back safely, and then the two of them end up on a road trip where an 18-year-old and a 90-year-old become best friends. That was the story I knew I wanted to write. The rest of it, all the other side characters, everything else, I just started writing it. And I would just kind of like, in between jobs at work, I would just kind of sit down with my notebook and like when I'm on break or when I'm at lunch and just be like, all right, let me get into Emma's the main character's name. Let me get into Emma's head and just go, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba, this is what she's thinking right now. And then if some of it worked for the plot, I'd say, okay, I like the way this is phrased. I'm going to put that in the typed document when I get home, things like that. So that one was a completely different method. But my point was I used different methods for each book that I wrote. You don't have to have a hard chapter by chapter outline. Some people do need to have that. I just want to be clear. For some people, it's going to be difficult if you don't, because some people have a mind that works in that type of way. And that is going to be the way that's going to work best for you. For other people, that's going to make it harder. You need to figure out your own best writing practices first. Okay?
Have the clear vision of where you're going to go. Even if you have a bad outline, like something that just doesn't make sense, isn't clear enough, you're going to have a lot of trouble writing this book. So the first step that I want to give you today, because this is really just dipping our toes in.
Where's
And I
only the
give it
first step?
all inside the bestseller masterclass, second module, all about creating.
Oh wow, that's number 7. Mention number 7. She's at the first thing I'm gonna tell you today. I thought we already did an exercise. What was I doing with the puppet if that wasn't the first thing? Okay. All right, Gabby, this is disorganized as hell. Maybe you should have had an outline for this course, Gabby. Maybe you should have made an outline for this webinar. You're all over the fucking place.
In your outline. But I want to start you off today. And here's how you can begin. Get that core message done. Get it done, get it nailed,
Okay.
or start to work on it.
Uh-huh.
And or even just an intention or what you think the promise of the book is. If you haven't nailed your core message yet, just put, this is what my book is here to do. Write that at the top of the page.
All right, let me turn to a new page and write at the top of it. Okay, I got a new page here. What my book is here to do. Here we go. Title: Conversations with My Puppet. I'm still working on the subtitle. Okay, my book is here to encourage creativity and imagination. It's here to prove that toys and imagination are not, quote, childish, but professional when applied right, and to get readers' creative juices flowing, and to share stories from my own experiences about doing this. And I'm going to weave in conversations with my actual puppet. So I'm going to weave in convos with Sean Puppet. Maybe I'll even... Oh, and American Girl dolls. I'm going to weave in some conversations with American Girl dolls. I'm going to talk to American Girl dolls and transcribe the conversations, and I'll write those in the book. So there'll be like little, it'll look like a little script. That'll be cute. I'll do some of that. Because I want part of this book to be the idea that, a lot of people talk about, toys aren't just for kids, but a lot of times what they mean is as an adult, you can be a toy collector. You can collect rare and valuable toys, but you shouldn't still be playing with them. You still make your teddy bears talk. That's a thing a baby would do. No, as an adult, you could absolutely still play with your toys. In fact, I think the tactile stimulation is very helpful for creativity and problem solving. I'll write that too. Tactile stimulation. That's gonna sound sexual. This book is not sexual. In the past, I've accidentally been so yeah, guys, I'm an adult toy collector. What I mean is I'm a toy collector and I'm an adult. I like toys and I'm an adult. I'm not talking about adult toys. Adult and toys, adult was not meant to modify toys. Misuse of a noun adjunct right there. Come on, English teacher savvy.
And then I want you to write down 10 stories from your own personal life or clients you've worked with, or fictional stories that you want to write about that you've always dreamt of. 10 stories that support that core message.
10 stories.
So here's an example.
Okay. Oh, wait, she's going to give an example. Then I'll do my
When I
10
was
stories.
writing the outline for Happy Days, the guided path from trauma to profound freedom and inner peace, I started to just riff on the page about the stories. So I wrote getting sober and in the car with the white Corolla and the Gatorade on the floor and listening to the psychic replaying. I wrote down the story of not being able to run, and that being the somatic experiencing chapter, and the story of shame and being in the classroom and realizing my shame, and the story of being on the stage with speaking the.
See, I haven't read this book, so I don't know what story she's talking about. He's so the story, you guys know the one where I was in the classroom, right? And you guys know the one about how I was on the stage. I don't know what she's talking about, but I assume they're good stories.
The Samuel Beckett quote and doing that monologue, and all these stories, while they weren't yet in order, I started to just throw them onto the page. And then I would put those stories into an order that made sense. That's the only place I want you to start right now for your outline. Put that core message at the top of the page.
Okay, I did
and
that.
Then write down just the headline of 10 stories that support that core message.
All right, I'm going to do it right now. Here we go. All right, 10 stories that support the core message. One will be the convo I recorded in this video. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is going to be making American Girl dolls of the 90s kids characters. Number 3 is gonna be, recreating Rachel Hollis's Rise conference with stop motion dolls. Oh, I should do some from childhood too. Okay, one of them's gonna be when me and my cousin used to make stop motion Barbie videos in 2005, and I'm going to talk about how I wish that I joined YouTube that year, because that was the year YouTube started, and if I'd uploaded those I would be a big YouTuber by now, but instead I'm still struggling to reach 40k over here. And then I'll just put YouTube regret over here. But, and then that can lead into the story about how I used stop motion to make the Rachel Hollis video. There you go. Number 5 is going to be about, this book's going to be about toys. Like, toys to... From toys to... I can't think of a term. I'm trying to think of like a businessy term that starts with T. I'll figure it out. There's this book that this picture book that I meant to revisit. I'll just say Dr. Monkey. I'll know what that means. Dr. Monkey's a picture book I've been meaning to work on that I'm going to do some toy photography with a stuffed monkey for that I'm planning to. I haven't done it yet, so maybe that would make it sound stupid because I didn't accomplish anything yet. What else? Forever Home Friends! How could I forget? My whole business is based on how I love to play with toys, because I made a whole toy business. Alright, we need 4 more. I need 4 more stories. Oh my god, the Sculpt Yourself dolls. So I've got the Sculpt Yourself dolls. I actually have those listed for sale on my website now. I'm not emotionally attached to them anymore, so y'all can buy them, linked in the description below. You can get Amber with her Fuck the Patriarchy tattoo. The Judy doll already sold. She wasn't the one I expected to sell first, but she did. Judy's cool. She's one of my favorite characters to write in the book. The cover for Savvy Business Owner. How I made that cover by using a little toy phone and setting it up with Chewy, and how I came up with that idea. And just like general book marketing efforts that I've done with toys. I'll do a chapter on that. Okay. Oh my god, the One Final Vinyl Daisy doll! And then I'm going to do my 30th birthday at the American Girl store. If you're watching this, you might be like, Savvy, you're 30? You look so young and beautiful. No, you're not saying that. But if you were, the answer would be I'm not 30. I'm turning 30 in a couple months and planning to have a birthday party there. Some of the stuff that I'm writing about I haven't done yet, so that's okay. But those are my 10 stories.
This is such a huge first step. Let me just check the chat, see where you guys are at, if that makes sense to you.
I'm getting a decent amount of writing done. I'll give that to Gabby. Look at that.
People are saying definitely don't know where I'm starting or ending. Okay, so
this page,
I have a very clear title for my book. In the instance, does that need a subtitle, core message, as the title is very self-explanatory? Wow, that's a good question. Sometimes if your title tells it all, you don't need a subtitle, but you still need a core message that you can make sure is coming through in all of your communication about this book, okay? There is a structure, an outline, yet...
Oh, you know what I should also talk about? I don't know if this will be 11 or if I'll incorporate this into another one. I'll just put it as 11. Making a puppet on the Your Morning Guru show. I named her Jazz. She's in the background. She doesn't look very good. Sorry, Jazz. No offense. It was my first puppet making attempt. It was very fun.
Lose focus. Okay, people are really being clear about what's going on with them. So what I want you guys to do is start that exercise. Put your intention, your core message for the book at the top of the page, and write out 10 different stories that support that core message. And those 10 stories are going to radically support you as you begin to create your outline. You can also put them in order if there is a chronological order or an order of importance in terms of how you tell the story of the core message.
I don't know the order.
This is a very detailed process, writing an outline. So the secret that most authors don't nail is that they don't have a clear outline. You have the first step now, and then I take it home, drive it home inside the Bestseller Masterclass.
There we go. Hold up. Mention number 8. She's like, you thought that was good advice? Wait until you hear even more of this good advice in my course. We're still in the training right now. The free training. Okay, Gabby, this is annoying. And how is it a secret? She's like, this is the secret that most authors miss. Cue Jordan Peterson voice. And this is what everybody misses. So yeah, but she's like, this is the secret. This is the secret. I don't know if you know this, Gabby, but a secret is something that most people don't know. It's something that's usually hidden information. Writing an outline is an incredibly common writing practice. It's like, say, the biggest secret to writing is to write. What? The biggest secret to writing is to either take the pen in your hand and move it on the page in the shape of letters, or to put your fingers on the keyboard and then hit the letters in the order that would make them into words. That most people don't know that, but it's kind of a secret. I kind of discovered it myself.
Just check all the details out. Click that link right now below this video. Check out the details.
I will not.
There's
I will
a
later.
Massive bonus. There's $1,800 in.
Are you still hearts? $1,800. Now 18 American dollars. 1,800 American dollars.
Bonuses, but there's also a fast action bonus that's only available today until tomorrow night, this time 24 hours, and that's your turn your book into a bundle bonus. And it's videos and maybe it's sample videos from live talks that I've done. It's an hour workshop on how to craft your book launch talk, and this is about those of us who want to bring our books to life through live talks. Even if you think you don't want to do that, this bonus will definitely benefit you. And again,
I'm going to bring my book through live talks. Sean's going to do the talks. That'll also help market cancel Sean Boston. He's going to do the talks on YouTube.
And this is all when you get the bestseller masterclass within the next 24 hours. So just click that link below to learn more.
And in that second module of the bestseller masterclass,
I really go deep into taking those stories that you're going to write now and then incorporating and developing each of those stories as their own chapter and helping you see the exact flow of the chapters. And I give you done for you worksheets so you can really see, okay, I have to plug this in here and plug that in here and it becomes plug and play. And when you have it so plug and play, that's when creativity can flow. That's when
Wait, that seems very counterintuitive. I made writing into a if-then statement plug-and-play process where all you have to do is run the program, but if you forgot to put the little semicolon and you're writing in C++, then your program's not going to run, but you get to be fully creative. You get to be as creative as you want. You can take this project to the moon if you want, but it's plug-and-play. You're following my exact formula. I don't know about that, Gabby.
You can just write between the lines. That's when the outline holds you in a way where you...
This makes writing sound really boring. She's making the thing I love to do sound boring. She's like, okay, so you can just plug it in. Here, I'll give you my formula. You just pay me for the outline. I'll give you my formula. You just fill in the blanks. You just do a little Mad Lib, and then you sell the Mad Lib. Gabby, that's not fun. That's not fun. Now, how is there creativity with that? All that is following a formula. That makes writing sound boring as shit. Come on, Gabby.
Can be free. You become an untethered writer. You allow your creative force to move through you when you know where you're going. Whereas if you don't know where you're going, nothing can come through. Very, very important steps here, okay? Number 3, I'm sweating to the oldies and we are moving along to numero tres. Let me just see, are there any folks coming through on the chat that are saying, so great, yay, yay, yay. Well, yes. So many people are asking. If you love this training and you want to see it live again, you can come back at 8 o'clock. We're going to keep doing this. All right. The number 1 reason you're blocking your best-selling book and how to fix it. This is number 3, numero tres. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm studying Spanish right now through an app and I'm obsessed with it. Okay.
It's a Duolingo.
The number 1 reason.
Shout out to my 233-day Duolingo streak. Dzień dobry. Mówię po polsku I po angielsku. Mówisz po polsku? Kocham ciasteczka. Kocham psy. Ja piszę książki. Jestem SAVY, piszę książki. Also, she's like, I'm learning Spanish on an app. I know how to say numero dos. Numero tres. Very impressive, Gabby. Can you say hola?
Because you have the fear of failure. And whether you realize it or not, we all carry a storyline of feeling unworthy of our big dreams. And then that's really backed with this sense of, okay, well, what if I fail? What if I don't do it right? What if I don't get that publishing deal? What if I can't self-publish it? What if I don't sell any books? What if I just actually can't write it? And that fear of failure really almost took me down and almost stopped me from writing my first book. It was my book, Add More Ink to Your Life. I learned how to write a book proposal, and I put that book proposal together by Googling how to write a book proposal. And I did my best to string some sentences together to get the book proposal together.
This is the same thing Rachel Hollis does, right? When gurus will admit, I figured this all out by Googling it. I didn't know how to do any of this. I have no formal education in this. I did this all by Googling it. But you should still buy my course. Just because I figured it out by Googling it for free doesn't mean that you can. Still should buy my course.
And I spent about 2 years trying to sell it with an agent. And then finally, through my own connection, I found someone who believed in me enough to buy the book. And I bought the book. They bought the book. And the second I got the contract.
Wait, you found someone who believed in you? Are you saying that you did this through connections? That's kind of what it sounds like. Is this Q Jack Black, Lil Nepotis?
I had a panic attack. I said, oh shit, I just sold this book, but I have no idea how to write a book. Who am I to write a book?
Wait, excuse me. You sold your book to a publisher before you wrote it for your first book? That just doesn't happen. Most publishers, okay. The book querying process for authors who have never published before is incredibly difficult. And if you've never published through an agent before, it's also equally difficult. If you've self-published before, it's also equally difficult. But if you've never published through an agent before, the publishing process is incredibly difficult because publishers who haven't worked with you before are not going to take your outline or your treatment or your concept or your book pitch or whatever. They're not just going to take that and buy it from you because they don't know how you sell. They don't know how you work yet. So they end up requiring, I mean, every publisher is different, but generally they end up requiring a cover letter that you write and some sample chapters and a writing sample of the book itself. And then if they like the book, they generally will request a full manuscript to then review and then make their decision. This whole concept of like, someone bought a book from you, you sold a book and made a book deal before you'd ever written a single book? Gabby, how? Who did you know? What? That's the actual secret here. Who did you know? That's the secret. Tell us. Tell us who was the person you found who believed in you? Who's your friend in the publishing industry? Gabby,
you're stupid. You have 8th grade English. You studied theater in college and you didn't learn anything other than how to breathe. And, just
kind of
really judging my education, not the theater education, but my inability to write or spell or have any grammar. And I just started judging myself and putting myself down. And I almost gave the money back and sent back that contract and said no. By the grace of God, I sat in my meditation and I just really prayed about it. And I said, universe, just show me what to do. And I listened to that voice of my inner guide, and my inner guide said to call my friend Chris, who had published a bunch of books. And then literally I heard that as a spiritual message, call Chris. I called Chris. I said, what should I do? She said, hire this coach, this writing coach, and she'll teach you.
Was that a spiritual message or was that just an idea you came up with? Also, her advice was for you to hire a coach. Why is it always to hire a coach? You gotta hire a coach to do everything. So you sold a book without ever this is insulting, dude. She sold a book without ever having written a book before and then decided to hire a coach to teach her how to write. You don't need a write. Oh my God.
How to write the outline, how to find your voice, and how to get it.
This is what all the gurus do though, right? Jen Sincero does this nonstop too. The idea of like, I had to hire a coach. I didn't know how to do shit without a coach. Maybe you need to hire a coach. Like me. Pay me. That's the idea she's implanting in our head.
Done. So thank God, I tuned in. I asked for help and I did not listen to that voice of fear, did not listen to that fear of failure, did not listen to that fear of unworthiness, and chose a path and a commitment to find a way no matter what. Had I not listened to that voice, had I not called Chris for help, if I not prayed about it, I would have given the money back and countless lives would not have been changed. Hundreds of thousands of words would not have been put into
That's pretty self-important. I changed thousands of lives, you guys.
Print. These books wouldn't have been birthed. My mission wouldn't have been fulfilled. I really want you to take that in right now because your feelings of unworthiness or your fear of failure is the number one reason that you're blocking your book or blocking your bestseller or blocking the current book you have from getting out into the world. It's an energetic shift that must occur when we make the commitment to be a vessel through which communication and inspiration come through us onto the page. It is a commitment that we must make to the world. So the first part of this exercise to really help you transform that belief of who am I to do this, or the fear of failure, is to shift your perspective and really begin to just say out loud, it's my responsibility to share my great work with the world.
It is my responsibility to share my great work with the world.
It's my responsibility to share my great work with the world.
It's my responsibility to share my great work with the world.
I want you to type that right now in the chat. I'm going to go see you guys typing this in the chat. It's my responsibility to share my great work with the world. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. I want you to post it on your Instagram today. I want you to go onto your Instagram story and post it.
No, I'm not doing that.
It's my responsibility to share my great work with the world. It's my responsibility to share my great work with the world. Make that.
All right, I'll write it down, Gabby. All right, keep talking. I'll write
your
it down.
Mantra. Say it as a prayer. Affirm it every day. Put it out there. Put it out there. Put it out there. That confidence and that spiritual shift is what I teach authors, that it's not just about the practical steps to write a book. It's about the spiritual transformation. That's why inside my training, the Bestseller Masterclass, I have so many meditations.
Okay, thank you. I knew it wouldn't be long. That's number 9. Q Revolution 9, number 9, number 9, number 9. That was number 9. That was number 9 of the times that she has hard sold us her course. By the way, guys, I have meditations in my course. Did you want to meditate? Did you want to meditate a book into existence? Did you want to birth it in your mind? It is my responsibility to share my great course with the world. It is your responsibility to share your money with me. That's what Gabby says.
For helping you get into the seat of your truth and releasing your fear and releasing the self-attack and judgment. So let's start right now by simply saying that affirmation out loud. It's my responsibility to share my great work with the world.
It's Gabby's responsibility to take money from me. Wait, no. It is my responsibility to share my great money with Gabby. It is my responsibility to share my credit card information with Gabby's website. It is my responsibility.
Someone wrote, I'm the queen of unworthiness. All right. So let's work on that a little bit here. Okay. Let's just do a 2-minute tapping session on the feeling of being unworthy. So the first step right now is if you feel unworthy of writing your book, I want you to tell me from a scale of 0.
Okay, so I'm actually really excited about this idea that I came up with, and now she's taking me through all these emotional exercises. I just want to get back to the writing exercise because you got me on a creative roll, Gabby, and I was having fun. Now this training is over. We're back to now we have to meditate on our unworthiness. I feel worthy, though. You're going to make me feel unworthy. I'm going to feel worse when I'm done with this. Okay, Gabby, whatever. I'm going to do it.
0 to 10, 10 being the highest, where you are on the scale. So
0.
If you're feeling super unworthy of your book, then you're going to be a 10. And if you're feeling really strong, you're going to be a 0. Put 0 in the chat just so I can get a pulse of where you guys are at.
I am ready.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they feel unworthiness is their biggest block. Says, yep, people are starting. So tell me, are you a 0 to 10? Where are you?
0.
And
10 of
there's
excitement.
A lot of affirmations still coming through. Yep. Okay. I'm starting to see people saying that I've always been told that I'm a bad writer. So there's a lot of feelings of insecurity, unworthy.
I just want to acknowledge it just because I'm very confident and excited. Doesn't mean everyone is. I know a lot of people, especially when people are talking in this chat, being I always was told I'm a bad writer. I'm worried. I don't feel like I'm going to do a good job at this because I was told my whole life that I don't have the writing skill. I get that. And I understand that coming at this as someone who writes books as part of my job, that I'm probably in a different kind of position here than a lot of people who are watching this training. But I do want to point out the fact that kind of makes this a little sleazier on Gabby's part. That she's talking to these people who are I've always been told I couldn't write my way out of a paper bag. I've always been told that I couldn't write shit. And now Gabby's going to help me become the amazing writer that I always knew I could be and become a best-selling author, writing my own self-help book to help other people write their own self-help books. I think this is very predatory, especially when we're going to look at the prices.
We have a lot of people saying that they feel disorganized. So from a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, write down where you're at.
0.
With your level of unworthiness. 10 being the highest.
I'm worth it all.
With that,
I'm
we're going to
worth it. I'm
tap
gonna
for
write that.
2 minutes, do
We're gonna
emotional freedom
tap-
technique, and we're going to
tap
tap on
what?
the feeling of unworthiness. So you're going to follow me,
Tap,
right?
tap what?
Just relax wherever you are. And just, we got a lot of nines here coming in. A lot of nines of unworthiness.
Tapping my fist?
5.
Why?
We have a lot of high numbers. 12 to 10 to 12. Lots of big unworthiness feelings. Yep. 10, 10, 10. Okay. We've got some people that are low on the scale. So if you're low on the scale, just tap with us anyway, because there might be some lingering stuff that needs to be cleared. Tapping is a way that we can clear it right now. And I want you to have fast action right here, right now.
I'm ready for
tap
fast
on the
action,
feeling of
but
unworthiness.
Okay.
Tap on the karate chop point right now. And you guys are going to repeat after me as I guide you in this tapping process. What this is tapping on different energy meridians so that you can reprocess the feeling of unworthiness. So just repeat after me. Even though I feel this unworthiness, I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I feel this unworthiness that I don't really feel, I deeply
Even
love
though
and accept myself.
I feel unworthy of writing this book,
I do feel
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I
Repeat
completely
that
love
after
and
me.
accept myself.
Even though I feel unworthy of writing a book,
Even though
I
feel
deeply
unworthy.
and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely
Continue
love and
to
accept
follow
myself.
where I'm tapping and repeat after me. I've got a lot of unworthiness.
I don't. Stop it.
Side of the eye. And it's blocking my book.
And it's blocking my book.
Under the eye. Continue to repeat after me. This unworthiness is blocking my book.
This unworthiness is blocking
Under the
my
nose.
book.
And it's really frustrating.
It's really frustrating. You're really frustrating.
Chin. I freeze up when I talk about my book.
I freeze up when I talk about my book. That's never happened. I'm lying.
Collarbone.
She's making me lie. I don't like lying.
I feel like I'm not worthy of this book.
I feel like I'm not worthy of this book.
Under the arm, repeat after me. Who am I to write a book?
You're making me tap my surgery
Top of
scars.
the head. Who am I to write a book?
Who am I to write a book? I'm Savvy Writes Books. Savvy Pisze
Eyebrow.
It's talking Polish.
Keep repeating after me. I feel all this unworthiness.
I feel all this unworthiness.
Side of the eye. And all that that means to me.
And all that means to me.
Under the eye. It feels like such a huge block.
Feels like such a huge block.
Under the nose. I don't know how to bust that block.
I don't know how to
Under the chin.
Bust your nuts.
I don't know how to bust that block.
I'm gonna bust your nuts.
Collarbone. And I just don't know what to do about it. I've got this unworthiness.
I don't know what to do about it other than beat my fucking
Under
chest.
the arm. Got this unworthiness.
Got this unworthiness.
Top of the head.
I'm a monkey.
But I'm doing this tapping right now.
But I'm doing this tapping right now.
Eyebrow. And I'm at this training with Gabby, showing up for myself.
And I'm at this training with Gabby looking like a fucking
Side of the
idiot.
eye. So I must have some sense of worthiness to be here now.
So I must trust Gabby somewhat and want to give
Under
her my
the
credit
eye.
card number.
Feels good to be here right now.
Feels really good to be
Under
tapping
the
my fucking
nose.
surgery scars.
Feels really good to be here right now.
Feels really good. Feels so good to bust
Chin.
my nut.
Because being here right now means that I'm showing up for my book.
Because being here right now means that I'm showing up for my book.
Collarbone. Being here right now means I am worthy of writing a best-selling book.
I am worthy, bitch. I
Under
am
the
worthy.
arm. It's my responsibility
Ow.
to share my great work with the world. Top of the head,
I have a big
repeating after
scar over
me.
here.
It's my responsibility to share my great work with the world.
It is my responsibility.
Eyebrow. It's my responsibility to share my great work with the
It is
world.
my responsibility to share my
Side
great
of the
work
eye.
with the world.
And I am here showing up for it.
And I am here showing up for it.
And my only goal is to have some fun.
My only goal is to have some fun.
So if my only goal is to have fun, I'm worthy of that.
If my only goal is to have fun, I'm worthy of that.
I'm good enough. I can do this.
I'm good enough. I can do this.
If Gabby did it and she couldn't spell, I can do it.
If Gabby did it and she only had nepotistic
I can do
connections, I can touch my scars.
I can write a
I
best-selling
can
book.
write a best-selling book.
Place your hand on your heart and your hand on your belly and take a deep breath in and let it go. Now just tap into that place of unworthiness within you and just let me know now, where is that in your body?
Nowhere.
Where is it in your body?
This
0 to
there was
10,
no
10 being
potato.
the highest.
There was no potato in my anus. There was no
Where
Warren
are
Bossing
you?
say.
With the feelings of unworthiness, 10 being the highest. Where are you?
0.
Give me a sense of what's coming through for you now.
What's coming through is I'm getting frustrated
0
with you,
to
Gabby.
10. For me, I just feel more relaxed anyway, just tapping with you. I'm borrowing the benefits of the tapping. And people typically go from a high level of tapping down to a 0. And what I think I'm going to do probably this year in my training is give people
All I learned from that is that my incisions are still raw.
a lot of opportunity to just get their shifts and their energy out of them. And if you guys have any comments of where you are now, 0 to 10, you can just post it in the chat and I'll just read that back to all of you. There's also a bunch of questions coming in from you guys. People are crying. Hannah's crying. Hillary went from a 12 to a 4. Nice
12
freaking
wasn't on the
job,
scale.
Hillary. If you're my kid, I always go, high freaking 5. High freaking 5. We've got people down to a 0. We've got down to a 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Amazing. 3, but still nervous. Okay. Can't feel it anymore, Neha says. You guys are rock stars. Let's see. 0, Anna. 5 to a 2. 0. So tell me where you were and where you are now. You've got 1s and 0s and 2s. It's just a miracle that we literally super relaxed. And now we've got a 0 or a 2. We've got a 3. This is excellent work, guys. 6 to a 3. Yeah. Where were you? Where are you now? It's such a blessing. Krista is a 2. Refresh your browser. People are saying refresh your browser if your Zoom link isn't working. Okay. For obviously your Zoom is working because you can see me. You're at a 4. Okay. So as we can see, the tapping works. And I think that the emphasis on our spiritual growth and our spiritual development is such a key principle of my bestseller masterclass, because I don't think that we could write a book if we didn't do the work that we needed to do spiritually and emotionally and personally.
I mean, on the flip side, I've written 11, but well, I've written 12. I've published 11 books and my 12th one's coming out, and I've never done any spiritual work at all. So make of that what you will.
To get to the place where we believed we were worthy of bringing forth that message. I've brought so many practices inside the training. In fact, if I don't have it already, I don't know, my team will tell me if there's a tapping on unworthiness, but I want to do that. I'm going to add that to the training because.
So the training here she's referring to is the paid course. So here we go, slashing through the tally marks. That is mention number 10 of the course that you have to pay for.
We've got so many meditations that are about releasing the blocks, releasing the fears, releasing the stories of inadequacy or unworthiness, so that book can truly come through you. And you guys just kicked butt right now. Let's see. We've got so.
I like that she says come through you, because she's talking about being a book midwife. So the book needs to come through you. It needs to come through your uterus and out the birth canal. That's where the book comes from. Imagine if I gave birth to this book right now, if this book was just covered in P-word juice. Life happens to you, life happens for you, life happens through you, books happen through you, by which I mean through the vagina.
Many people.
Gwyneth Paltrow, eat your heart out.
In here coming through. Oh my God. Yep. Someone said for some reason it made me cry. Yeah, because you're just letting yourself be present with the feelings and the truth, and you're reprocessing a stored emotion that is not in your highest and best, and it's letting it go, which is just excellent. Beautiful. When it comes to worthiness, one of my students, Glow, wrote, I experienced a huge transformation in the Bestseller Masterclass. Before I started the course, my belief in my ability had hit rock bottom following my attempt to self-publish a half-written book in a hurry. As each module opened up every week, I became more confident.
Is she just reading testimonials and reviews of her course? Get back to the training! Get back to the training, Gabby! I'm trying to... Oh my God.
And my belief in my own story, my own ability to share it and to help others just grew. The depth of the Bestseller Masterclass training and how much I care about your inner shift. Because You can write the best book in the world, but if you still don't believe you're worthy of it, it's going to come out in the way you care about it, the way you talk about it, the way you market it, the way you promote it. And most likely it'll block you from even writing it. So we have to care for our inner world, our inner belief systems, and honor everything that comes up for us as we're in this writing process. So again, if you're wanting that spiritual kick in the ass, if you're wanting the Gabby playbook on how to write and market your bestseller, $2,000 worth of bonuses, plus the fast action bonus today, that is that extra.
How do I know it's $2,000 worth of bonuses? Is that what you normally sell it for outside of this? I don't understand how when gurus price these things, they're like, this Zoom call with me is a $3,000 value. Like, based on what? Based on what?
Your bonus course on how to turn your book into a talk. Just click the link that's below this video and learn more about the Bestseller Masterclass. This is all happening now. Here we are at our final step in the training.
Final step.
Let me just see where you guys are at in the chat. I love this freaking chat. Oh my goodness. So many people went from 5 to a 0. You guys are freaking rock stars. Okay. The fourth step, the one we've all been waiting for, my secret method for marketing your book so it's widely read. My secret method.
Big secret. What is it?
This is, just write this one down, people. Own this. Put this into anything that you put out into the world.
What is it?
Here we go.
Tell me. I need to know.
Share, don't sell. Share, don't sell.
Excuse me, Gabby. First of all, I'll write it down because she asked me to, and I'm participating, and I'm a good student. Share, don't sell. Share, don't sell. Don't hard sell. Talk about the value. Share the book. You've been hard selling to me this whole course. I tally marked it. There are 10 instances during this course, during this webinar, of you selling me your course. You weaving it in when it's completely unnatural. Just stop and read a testimonial about how great it is. And she's sharing it, not selling it. I'm sharing my course with you because I truly believe in the value. This sales guru bullshit. You've been selling it. God damn it.
What does this mean?
Means
Once
you're a liar.
you nail your core message and you have a clear outline and you've done some work around your worthiness and you feel connected to the book, to the message, to the promise, to the people it's going to serve, in some cases, the people it will heal. You don't have to sell it. All you have to do is just tell the story. Share, share, share. Listen, I could say,
like how you don't have to sell your course, so you just hard sell it to me every 5 minutes in this fucking training. This, more than every 5 minutes. The recording of this video of this training, I am 43 minutes into it. And she has mentioned it 10 times. That is an average of once every 4 minutes. You're hard selling me more than every 5 minutes to bring up once again the paid thing we can buy. And the values of how much money we're going to save. Sounds like you need to share, don't sell, Gabby. How about you just share your story with me and I'll buy your course if I feel like it.
Here in front of you right now, holding my book, Happy Days. It's like under the pile of books. And I can say to you right here, right now, that this is the best freaking book I have ever written. This is the most important book that I may ever write in my lifetime. It is a book that changes lives, it saves lives, it heals lives. It's a story of how I have saved and healed and changed my life. I would recommend that any human being read this book. And right now, when I'm saying this to you,
this has Dave Hollis vibes. You, son, need this book. It's $18 stinking dollars. You don't have a job? 18 bucks? That's cheaper than taking a cab downtown to go talk to someone about how you can find a job. You need this book. Yes, we're not talking about peace. We're talking about buying my book. Why do you follow me if you don't already own my book? That's God talking to people that he's trying to sell Bibles to. That's Jesus walking around. Jesus is just walking around town to all of his disciples. Why do you follow me if you don't already own my book? 18 stinking dollars for this Bible, please. But Jesus, we are in a pre-US and Canada time, so why are you saying dollars? What is a dollar? Is that a unit of currency that doesn't exist yet, Jesus? Sorry, I'm off track. I just want to get back to working on this project that Gabby got me excited to work on, and now she's just making up bullshit again.
You don't feel like I am selling you this book because I
Yes,
fucking
I do.
love this book.
I feel
and
like
I
you're selling
believe
me
in
this
this book and I want to share about it as
You're still selling
loudly
it.
and proudly as I can.
Just because I know how excited you are doesn't mean you're not still trying to sell it to me. And every single video I bring up my business Forever Home Friends, linked in the description below, guys. I'm still selling instead of sharing. I'm still telling you guys about something you can pay money for that is selling. It doesn't, just because I'm excited about it and you guys know that I genuinely love it, like, cat pre-orders available now. So look at me selling, not sharing. Sorry, Gabby.
Because there's nothing more important to me in this lifetime than getting anyone who needs to know about this book to know about it. And what you feel right now, as I say that, write it in the chat. Do you feel like I'm selling you? Yes. I highly doubt that. Do you feel like I'm sharing with you with so much love and conviction and passion?
So the word share to me, like when you tell a kid share your toys, share usually means like that you're not charging someone for something. So if you were sharing, if you're going to like let me borrow the book, that would be sharing. But since you want me to pay for the book, that's selling. So yes, I feel like you're selling.
That this is the real deal and I believe in it. Share, don't sell. The second you start selling, pitching, it just doesn't resonate. You got to stick to the reason behind the message. You have to stick to, I know that this book is going to save people's lives. When people do the work in this book, their lives will be saved. This is my contribution to the world. It is my responsibility.
Now that doesn't make me want to buy it. It makes me think that you're really full of yourself if you think you can save people's lives. I mean, and here's the thing. Maybe your book has saved people's lives. Books have incredible powers to save people's lives sometimes. But I feel like it's really cocky to go around being like, yeah, my book saves people's life. Yeah, my book saved your life. It will change your life. That's Dave. She went on Dave's podcast, actually. I'll do a reaction to that because it really makes sense.
To share it widely. And I want to share it with conviction. And I've said this the way I'm saying it publicly on live television and countless podcasts, just been so unapologetic about getting the book out into the world because I know the power it has. And I want you to feel that same power, that core message pouring through your veins so that you can just share rather than sell. And when you share rather than sell, your marketing materials become stories rather than pitches. Your messaging is just fun.
So I want to say that I do agree with her idea of making marketing happen through a story. I think that when you tell a story to someone, they connect with that more. Just kind of blasting marketing at people doesn't work. We're so inundated with ads online and things like that at this point that we tune them out. We try to ignore them. If there's something we can connect to, you are much more likely to make a sale. So I will say that I completely agree with her on that point. So with all of that in mind, let's take a look at the course itself. All right, here we are, the bestseller masterclass with Gabby Bernstein. Right now, at the time that I'm filming this, it is 2 p.m. on May 16th. So this closes in 2 days, 2 hours, 58 minutes, 25. So it's about, so it's going to close at 5 p.m. This Wednesday. Now, this is an influencer false scarcity thing. We see this a lot. I've noticed this a lot with like pretty much anyone who sells an online course. And this is also a thing that like fast fashion websites do. If you look at sites like, you know, Shein, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Websites like that. Fast fashion sites tend to do this too. It's like, this sale is going to end in this amount of time, but it's really like going to start up again real soon. And especially when it's someone selling an online course of pre-recorded material where they're not there teaching it to you, where you are not getting feedback from them as the professor, where you are not having one-on-one conversations. Why would it expire? When they're just going to reopen enrollment. There's no real enrollment. That's just, you're just buying digital materials from someone, but they're creating false scarcity. They're doing it to be like, ooh, only X number of spots available. There's no practical reason for that. There's as many spots available as you need there to be. But anyway, let's take a look at what's going on in this course and compare that to what we just heard in the training where she mentioned it. She mentioned it more than 10 times. But I eventually turned the training off because she was just going to spend the rest of it hard selling and I was getting tired of it. Can I relate to any of these? You want to write a book but feel unmotivated or held back? Nope. You feel overwhelmed, but I mean, the writing and publishing process is overwhelming, yes. A publisher told you that you can't publish a book because you don't have a platform. If building a platform is hard work, I will say. But basically, she's trying to hit every possible demographic. You've published before, but the process felt clunky and stressful. So it's like you want to write a book, but you've never written anything. Or you have written and gone through the whole publishing process. But basically, this course is for literally everyone. So then she talks about how Oprah called her a thought leader. Meanwhile, everyone just calls me a thought. Then she created the masterclass program. This is not a traditional online course. She says that, and then I guarantee you it's going to be a traditional online course. Everyone who says, my MLM company is not like other MLM companies. My thing isn't like regular things. To be fair, on Savvy Business Owner, I wrote that this book is not going to motivate you. It's not going to be like a boss babe book. And maybe that means it is a boss babe book. Maybe I'm a boss babe. I'm becoming a boss babe more and more every day. It's who I am. You cannot stop it. I've become, ever since I got surgery and gained confidence in my body, I've become too powerful. You can't stop me. Anyway, it's supposedly not like other courses. So let's find out. Oh, it's not like other courses because it has mindfulness and meditation built into the curriculum. What does that have to do with practical tips for writing? Now, I just want to make it clear. For some people, meditation helps them with writing, so I don't want to discount that. And for some people, that is an important spiritual practice. So I just want to say I respect everyone's process. A 92-page workbook. Oh my God, 92 pages? That's less pages than most books actually are. 92, wow. 7 meditations. Oh my goodness. And a private Facebook group. You know who else has a private Facebook group? Marie Forleo. And also like every other business guru course. This sounds exactly, what do you mean this is not a traditional online course? This is every online course. This is the same shit we see everywhere. Ooh, and then we have, here's what alumni have to say. So we get some more testimonials. Glad you guys had fun. A 48-hour bonus kick-ass outline workshop. It's a $200 value. Wait, I thought the outlining information was included in the course already. This offer expires on May 8th. Yeah, expires the same time the course enrollment closes, obviously. I could hit enroll now, or I could learn more. So she's going to teach us about the message, the outline, the book proposal, publishing, marketing. I mean, at least it's including a lot of things. Okay, so then she does give some examples of her students and their books. I'm going to take a look at how these are doing. So let's look at this one. Shawnri, is that how you say that? Shawnri Noto has done a book called The Lost IQ. That sounds interesting. Honestly, and the cover's cool too, so let's look it up. All right, let's look at this. Sensual Intelligence, The Lost IQ, Reclaim the Wisdom, Power, and Joy of Your Body. This sounds like a kind of cool book. Good for her. The book has 40 ratings, got 40 reviews, so not bad. 40 reviews, and most of them are 5 stars. I will say that's not bad. But it's also not, this course will turn you into a bestseller numbers. Okay? It's not that. It's not quite that. But it does look like a good book, and I'm very, I want to make this clear. The books of the students of this, I'm not going to make fun of at all, because honestly, that's these people's work. I haven't read their books, and they're not trying to scam anybody as far as I know, so it sounds fine to me. Let's look at Sarah Apple's book called, I can't read that from here, Fairy Spotting Guide. It has 1 review. There are 0, oh, it's a rating, so I can't even read the review. Okay. And again, there's nothing, that's not to say that the book is bad. I have plenty of books that don't have many reviews out there, but I'm just not sure how this is supposed to give me confidence that this is a bestseller. Again, the book looks cute. I'm sure it's great. This product is from a small business brand support. I mean, I love that. And it sounds very cute. Let's look at this one. Bevan Neiman is the author of The Abundant Empath. It was released on the Aries full moon. Okay. Bevan Neiman, The Abundant Empath. I searched for it in books. Oh, did I spell the name wrong? No, I spelled it right. Is this book not available on Amazon? Because it's just giving me supplements. Why is it giving me supplements instead of a book? Bevan Neiman, I'm very sorry. Looking it up on Google. It didn't even come up in the... Oh, man. Again, I'm not blaming this author. I'm sure this author is a great person. It just looks like Gabby didn't teach people about Amazon. You taught them book marketing in a course that they paid for, and you didn't teach them Amazon, Gabby, the biggest book retailer in the world currently. You guys know I have plenty of ethical issues with Amazon, but if you're trying to sell books, you need to be using Amazon, or you need to know how to use Amazon. You taught them so little about Amazon metadata, Amazon keywords, Amazon SEO, and Amazon as a search engine system that I literally searched for the title of the book with the author's name, and no books came up in the search results. Gabby, that is disappointing. I mean, this book actually sounds really nice. It's talking about so many messages we receive about abundance are toxic and shaming, and it's talking about toxic positivity. It's talking about like wanting to be, you know, if people believe in like the spiritual type of things in this book, it's not my thing, but if people believe in that and that's important to them, to talk about how to, you know, have that kind of mindset without the toxic positivity and without the, trying to manifest in this like whole money-centered world. I think that's great. Many of the money issues you face are systemic, not personal. I love this. This looks like a fantastic approach to this kind of thing. So that really sucks that it doesn't come up when you search for it. Literally, I searched the title and the author. Nothing. Can't believe this. Gabby, that is a failure on Gabby's part. Okay, then she talks about the curriculum. She has the little syllabus laid out here. Good for her. She's got the guest teachers. And then we've got the price. You could either pay all at once, $12.99, $1,300, or if you can't afford $1,300 all at once, fear not. You can pay monthly. You can pay $120 a month for a year. Chewy's mad too. He's mad over here. He's like, this woman's taking advantage of people who want to be writers. And that's part of the thing too. We've talked about this on Your Morning Guru. The easiest groups that take advantage of creative people, it's a group that I'm part of. Creativity is one of the easiest insecurities to take advantage of because it's such a competitive career field and it is so difficult to make a living in. I hate that she's doing this. Financial difficulties and health difficulties. So you've got these health gurus, you've got these finance gurus, and you've got these creativity gurus, and they take advantage of all this shit, overcharging you for these courses where you don't even learn how to show up on a page in Amazon search results when someone searches for you. Oh my god. Oh my god, Gabby. Then she has, even my best friends who have me on speed dial took the course, and talks about her best friends from the course. These people that she was already friends with, so it's like, my course is so great, even people who already like me like the course. That's a biased sample, Gabby. She's got Amy Porterfield, Sophia Amoruso from #GirlBoss, and then Chris Carr, who she mentions earlier that she was praying and God said, call your friend Chris or whatever, and Chris is the one who told her to hire a writing coach. So before Gabby knew how to write shit, Chris was already publishing books. So Chris didn't gain success from Gabby's course. It is explicitly stated in the training that Chris helped Gabby get success, so Chris's testimonial doesn't matter because Chris was already successful before the course. I also think that I think it's funny that Sophia Amoruso's testimonial is, I'm so lucky to have Gabby on speed dial. Could you imagine if you reviewed people's work by reviewing them as a person? Like, here's my review for Cancel Sean Boston. I think it's really cool that SAVY has curly hair. Or, I'm so grateful that SAVY and I went out to dinner last night. 5 stars for the book. That's insane. This is a review of Gabby as a friend, dude. I'm pretty sure we don't get Gabby on speed dial with the course. So, looks like this is the course. Am I gonna enroll now? So that was Gabby Bernstein's free webinar, which was really 10 hard sells of an expensive course on how to write a best-selling book. Whether or not it's gonna work, first of all, I think it probably doesn't work because I looked up the books of some of the students featured on the website and they're not bestsellers. In fact, one of them I can't even find. So I don't trust it. But is it going to work for me? Am I going to become a bestseller? We'll find out as I work on more of Conversations with My Puppet. I will say that I was on a roll with the creativity and I was doing well when she was giving me actual exercises, but then she kept bringing in the manifestation and she kept bringing in this emotional angle, and I just really wanted her to focus on the meat and the content because she was onto something for a little bit there. And I think her outlining advice, although it is a bit like, this is the one way to do it, and I'm not a fan of that, I think that if it is a way that works for you, her advice itself is not bad. So I didn't think it was the worst training in the world, although I did have a lot of massive issues with it. I'd love to know your thoughts on it all in the comments below. I will see you guys again on Monday on Your Morning Guru and again on this channel as well. In the meantime, please keep on supporting small businesses and have a fantastic Friday. Bye!
Hit you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should take up lesbianism.
Chicago.
You guys asked for it.